Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another D standard deck profile. This time I will be covering the upgraded version from DZBT02. Of course, our faded one, Varga Dragres. So, of course, the right line is still the same for now. I do see people actually switching like these ones into the little comic version, but I think the little soul charge more attacking, being more aggressive is a good way. It's up to you which one you want to use, but for this build I think I'm going for this route. So so far it's doing me good, and fortunately the upgrade needed is not like very big, but then the effect given is actually very large, I would say. So yeah, so far I don't think we need to talk about this bright line very much. It's basically just bring out more free attackers and then just use them to beat your opponents early, trying to gain some advantage, and then try to get them to the 4 damage mark so you can use your defense skill as easy as possible. And then going into the main deck, then of course I have another set of playsets of Varga, so that we can fulfill the person right. We can always get ready for the extra power needed, which is very important because with this deck, if you really like take the game too long, it's not going to benefit you too much, even though you draw a lot and you keep like cutting out your opponent's rear guards, front row it is, but you're still kind of running out of resources very soon. So I think trying to compress the power in a few turns to just win the game is a better way with this deck, and that's also one reason why people choosing this deck, because you can act so fast that before your opponents can really like kind of react, you might win the game already if you manage to push the damage through. But if not, then you really need to play very clever, and that requires experience. I can't say I'm like a full experienced Varga player yet, but so far I can still kind of flip the table around if I need it. But at some point, it's really hard to defend even with when you have a lot of cards, because you still need to kind of build up the attacks in order to win the game. And then next, I'm still running the Glaive Dragon. Instead of 4, I'm running 3 now. It is still good. It's still got a very good boost. It can still be a 23k that won't get cut off by Varga, but in the end it's still a bravery. You can't basically give it shield value unless you use like defensive instinct, but then you need to actually play it down, so it's not a good way still. So I kind of cut it, but then it is still important. Like a good 13k boost for a 10k, and then with person right boost up to 33k is still a very good number, and he himself allows you to like let your Vanguard attack first and then give the trigger effects to him if you don't have your Shur, which is here. Shur is definitely a good card, and like your number of attack extender, but then she costs you quite a lot of resources, and sometimes she is the reason why you can't use the define skill, because she also needs a counterblast in order to revive herself. So if you need to do a full combo, you need 3 counterblasts, and that's very heavy. So in my DZBT01 build, I actually like kind of wanting to cut her down, and I think I did. But now unfortunately I need to put her back to 4. Not that I really need to rely on her skill, but then I think the chances of extending the attack is important, and this gives me the freedom to actually use her as a ride cost because I have so much, and I'm more comfortable sometimes to guard with her because I know I have another one that I can see eventually. After that, it's just a resources managing game, right? So having her at 4 isn't too bad, but if I find something that is more crazy, I would say, then maybe I will cut her off. But for now, I think I will put her back at 4. And then we have our Border X Dragon here, which is something that I haven't done before. But then I tried it, the new Tengu card, that when it get popped by Varga, you can pop another Riga from your opponent. But then if I don't actually personalize, it isn't doing much. But then for Border X, at least I can get to +5 to hit for 15, so basically hit most of the stuff, and then it will pop himself to turn me another card. And sometimes just that little draw really saved your life. So I am going for something that can still hit without personalizing, that can also turn you some benefits. And then next is for the Farhead. It's definitely a needed card, important card. You try not to counterblast one with his skill unless you really need to. Most of the time you will just use free energy blast to draw an extra card. And again, kind of like this, the extra little draw can sometimes save you. And since you will be ditching cards while using your right line anyway, and until you're going for it like a kill turn, you probably don't need the extra energy to blast 2 for Shur, so you have some energy to actually kind of protect yourself into, which for her is definitely needed in this deck. And then Heat Stamping Dragon, I was using quite a lot, and I think it's still got a space here, because when you can't personalize, sometimes this is something that actually helps you, because that little extra tank and that extra soul sometimes really important. So I didn't completely take this card out. I even want to maybe find a space for it, and if I really do, then I need to start cutting my Shur. But there are a lot of chances when you're playing like a cater deck that they can still build a full board so easily, and if they see you have a Hit Stamping Dragon, then and you are playing a Varga deck, then at least you can bait them not to use their doggy skill so rapidly, because once they use that, that means their back row will at least be -1, because that doggy will just retire itself. So they only have 2 more slots for the back row, and once your Varga uses skill, unless they have a protection skill, you will definitely hit the 2 mark, alright, 2 or less, and then you can use Hit Stamping Dragon. So having it here, I think, is a good threat to your opponents, to tell them don't act too recklessly, and while they do that, you can go for a play. And even if they try to just spam all the skills, then you can just use him and just pump your Vanguard 10k. I don't think that's something that is bad for you at all. Next is the new card that actually gets stays in the deck, Mon of Raging Flames, Loxay. So this is a very, very, very good card. The reason is because the skill basically blocks intercept. Because it says when this unit is placed on Riga Circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Vanguard in its card name, your opponent cannot intercept until end of turn. This card basically shuts down Magnolia Mask, because if you do check on the JP side official channel, they did do a Varga versus Magnolia, and then with the voice actors doing it, and then when this unit gets down, it just shuts down everything, because with Magnolia they have cards that allows you to just guard from the back row as well, and basically intercept, and then this card is saying no. Then it's just crazy. And a lot of times how people successfully avoid big damage from Varga is that before their regards, the front row regards get cut down, they use all of them to guard. And now this card is saying no, which is great. So definitely a 4-off. And also got another skill. When any player's unit is retired from a front row regard circle that is the same column as this unit during your turn, if you have a Gravy or Higher Vanguard with Varga on this card name, retire this card and draw a card. So it's also turns into draw. It just comes down, no intercepts, so that I can cut it off, and when I cut it off, I get a draw. And before that, it's a good boost. So for example, just this is already a 23k attack, and because it pop itself, right? And then you suddenly get to activate the skill and draw, right? So it's just so easy to draw cards compared to the mid hard, because it requires your cards to stand, and sometimes if your opponent is good at locking your counterblast, then you don't get to draw with this card. But this, you have so many things that can just happen to let you draw, right? Like normally you can cut your regards down, you can cut your opponent's regards down, and you have your Border X to actually activate it. So that's a lot more draw sources that is more meaningful, and stopping your opponent to like use what they have, and they need to give you more. Alright, and then next is Impel Horn. It is something that boosts the power a lot more, so nothing too much to say about this card, I think. And then a cat, just in case you need extra defense, and then 3 of the normal unit PG and 1 base order, just in case. And then for orders, I'm using the Holy Grail because it just helps. And as I said, the power line for your regards isn't that great in this deck, even though you can still kind of tune it up, but it's still not good enough with a person riding. So adding an extra chance for you to person ride is definitely great, and even if you don't need it, you can just ditch it. So I don't see a point like it being bad. And compared to other Dragres piece, I think this is still a better way, unless you are still seeing a lot of Shur, or yeah, basically just Shur, right? Because a lot of your stuff just pop themselves, and the only thing that can keep you annoying is Shur. And if you don't see a lot of Shur, I don't think you need the Angel Ladder in here. I used that before because Shur was still something, but when the new set drops in, it's more about the faded ones. So since you are also one of the faded ones, so you do need the power to press through, because if not, your opponents will have big powers to push you back. So I think the Holy Grail is kind of better. And I still love to use one between human and dragon, because it's a simple 25k shield with 2 energy. Sometimes you just need it. At least that's how I feel it. I see a lot of builds rather use defensive instinct. It's not wrong. It's definitely not wrong. But I just want something that I can just simply ditch to protect myself, basically. And then triggers. Still the water elemental OT. Picking something up is great. Even just whatever, right? Because it's something from a drop, right? It can be pressure right, it can be a defensive, it can be this, it can be any pieces for you to attack. And then soaring crit, just in case I need souls. Probably I don't. 4 more crits, I still go for the draws because I usually won't have all my Riga standing when my Vanguard attacks, so it's better this way. But if you want the front, you can do it, and then just 4 normal heals because the game ends very fast. But if you want to just protect yourself with effect heals, as I always say, just do it. If you need it, just put it in. It won't hurt you at all. Yeah, so I think that's basically the upgraded deck list. Nothing too much to add on it. Points, maybe like this is really great. This I think have a little bit more chances to shine. Something that can just steal cards from opponent's hand by increasing the attack points, attack chances actually. And then this is still a very good defensive. And yeah, that's so far I think that's it. Until we get more support for this deck, maybe a promo or something, I think it will just be around the same for now. That's at least what I think. If you have other thoughts, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Definitely welcome any suggestions that you feel some cards may be like very interesting to use. Feel free to let me know. Maybe something that I already mentioned, maybe something not. Yeah, basically that's it. Feel free to subscribe for more deck profiles, unboxing, deck fight videos. During this period, I probably is in Japan, depending on how I schedule this. But yeah, I am aiming to try to record a lot more fight videos when I go there. So hopefully when I'm back, then you will get to see a lot more other fighting videos, because I don't get to record that many when I play with my friends, because they might not be always just free, or sometimes when I go to the shop, the space is not enough for me to set up the camera, then I can't do it. So sometimes I need to actually wait for big tournaments, or when I actually go travel, then at least I have a chance to do it, right? Yeah, so I think that's it for this video. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.